Probably the most notorious one is embarazado or embarazada.
Right.
The situation will arise from time to time when a California student has decided to study, say, in Guadalajara, and she's arrived and she's got her family that she's going to spend time with, and the family and the newly arrived student are sitting around the dining room table that evening, and of course the student is a little reticent to say anything because she hasn't spoken that much Spanish. And the señora asks her in Spanish, ¿por qué no dices nada? And she says to her host mother, porque estoy embarazada. And of course the host mother thinks, oh my lands, these California girls, and what am I going to do with this young pregnant girl? Till she realizes that the girl thought it meant embarrassed. Today you can go on the internet and really prepare yourself for where you're going to. Let's say you're going to Guadalajara. Go to the Guadalajara city homepage. You can look at maps of the city. You can see what they do at different festival dates. They'll also lead you to the school that you're going to study at. Do's and don'ts, and you can do that with virtually any city in the world,
right.
But in our case, any Spanish-speaking city. And it's going to make your stay so much better because you're going to be aware of many things that if you just landed at the airport and walked into the culture cold, you're going to be in for more of a shock. So you kind of let yourself down easy,
right.
so to speak. I had a child when I was in Madrid, and I came out of the hospital the day my son was born, and I hailed a cab, and I got into the cab, and I said to the cab driver, soy padre. I'm a father. Well, in slang, soy padre means I'm cool. And the guy seemed to be embarrassed when I said that. So I kept saying it, and I was so excited. And 5 minutes later, I'm kind of yelling at this guy, soy padre. And the guy's saying, sure, man, sure. You know, like I was going off or something. So, most of them have studied some Spanish, but they've studied in a kind of sheltered atmosphere at the university where the teacher and the other students are sympathetic listeners. They know the person is struggling and they try to show patience. As soon as you actually are in the country and you have, say, a problem at the airport finding your luggage, for the most part, you're not going to run into sympathetic speakers. They're going to talk back to you at their normal rate of conversation, which is much faster than the teacher probably used in the classroom. So you have that language wall you run into, and it takes a while to get through that. When your Spanish gets good enough and you get in a situation, say you meet somebody on a train or you go to a bank and suddenly you're drawn into a conversation and it becomes quite lengthy and quite involved and you understand everything that's going on and they understand you. That's the most joyous day that you're going to have during your stay because you've made it over the hump.